Hey there, this is Rolf Denver, and today I want to come to you from my backyard to talk with you about something that is near and dear to my heart, and that is using a backcountry bidet. Bidet. This may come as a strange term to some folks, but bidets are becoming more and more popular at home nowadays. If you haven't gotten one, you can buy one for about $50, and it will transform your, well, maybe not your life, but it will transform part of your life because it is wonderful to use. No longer will you be wasting a ton of toilet paper each time you go to the bathroom, number two, but you will feel much, much cleaner. So I encourage you, if you haven't done so already, get yourself a regular old $50 bidet. It doesn't need to be a heated water and, you know, air dry and all this stuff. Just a bidet, and try it out and you will love it. Now, after you've tried it out at least one place before, you don't want to go into the woods stone cold, as it were. I want to encourage you to do one more thing, and that is to incorporate a backcountry bidet into your hiking plans. And I'm going to show you some examples. I'm not going to show you an example of me using it, but I'm going to show you some examples of different kinds of bidet systems that you may wish to use. They all are quite functional. Now, I speak from experience. I just recently came back from a 3-week, 240-mile through hike of the John Muir Trail. And on that entire hike, I hardly used any toilet paper. I just used bidets. And you know why? Because on the John Muir Trail, you are required to pack out your toilet paper. And I'm not particularly a fan of wanting to pack out used toilet paper in my pack. I will do so if I need to, but I'd really prefer not to. There are rangers out there who will look and check and see if you in fact are carrying used toilet paper with you or have a bidet with you. And I did have a bidet with me. So let me show you a little bit about the different types of bidet systems you might be able to use. What is a backcountry bidet? Well, it's extremely lightweight. Here's one example. This is a tiny little bottle cap that you essentially can put on top of your water bottle, you know, smart water bottle or similar 28mm size bottle. And it has a tiny little hole. You can see 4 little holes actually, and they squirt out a very powerful stream of water when you squeeze whatever it is you have this attached to. And it really, really works. Here's another example. This is called the Culo Claire, and it has just sort of a little slit. Same kind of concept though. You can see it's got little gaskets. This can fit into a variety of type of holes. But I want to encourage you to try putting it onto whatever water container you're using ahead of time, because I did find out that depending on the water container you use, some of these might not fit. So make sure yours fits snugly before you go into the backcountry. Here's another example. This is actually what I took on the John Muir Trail with me. You can buy a pack of 3 of these. They're like little rubber, they're soft rubber, and they just sort of snug into your water bottle. They work great. They are angled so that you can, you know, the idea is that you hold the water bottle up here and then sort of angle it back underneath your private parts. And they really do work well. They just have a little slit, and you can get 3 of them for like about $15 on Amazon. Now here is the Cadillac of bidet systems. It is a dedicated water bottle that's very, very sturdy, and it has a holder to hold it on your pack. It has a two setting system. One has a bunch of holes, and you can actually use this as a backcountry shower. It has so many holes, and so that's kind of cool that you can use it to wash yourself. And then it also has a very small tiny little hole that will direct a jet stream into where it needs to go. By the way, none of this hurts. If you've ever tried using a bidet, it doesn't hurt you. It also does not inject water up into you. Some people are worried about whether they can use water, say, straight out of a stream or a lake. Will that get amoebas inside me or something? No, it won't. It's cleaning the outside of you. You're not giving yourself an enema. And try as you might, I don't think you'd be able to do that. Anyway, my personal preference has been so far that little tiny Amazon one that I got, because it's just so easy to put in, and it is extremely lightweight. All of these solutions that we're only talking about, even this is really only maybe 3 ounces empty. Now that's an important point. You need to have something that is not empty. You need to have water. And by the way, none of this is necessary only if you're backpacking. I take a bidet along with me now when I am hiking every single time I go out and hike, and I'm a volunteer backcountry patroller, so I'm often out hiking, and I will take a bidet with me. I really haven't had to use it because I'm just day hiking, but I'm prepared just in case. This is one thing that works quite well. These little bags are sold when you buy a Sawyer Squeeze water filter. They don't work that well for holding unfiltered water. The idea is you somehow, you get water in here and then put it through the squeeze into your filtered water. They work all right, and they're actually surprisingly stronger than they look. I tend to use them for 2 purposes. One is to carry bidet water, and the other is to carry a little bit of whiskey. Now here's what I typically use. These Sinoc bags are awesome. They are a great way to collect water because you open the bottom and you can just scoop the water up, and then you attach this to your filter and filter through into your bottle. But they also work fantastically as a bidet bag, and that's what I used on the John Muir Trail for 3 weeks straight. So here's essentially what it looks like. I'll give you a quick example of what it looks like when a bidet is in operation. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I just want to show you what the water looks like when it's coming out of the top of one of these. All right, first we have the system that I actually used on the John Muir Trail, and that's this little item right here. See? That gives quite a strong stream of water. You can see that coming out there. That is a strong stream of water that will clean you. Now here's what you want to do. When you're using a bidet, the first thing you do is before you poop, use the bidet a little bit around to kind of wet your skin a little bit. That'll keep the poop from sticking on you as much. Then after you've done your business, take the bidet, get down in the position, or stay in the position, squat down, and hold this between your, between your legs and behind you, and squirt in to where it needs to go. I was always worried that, oh, I'm gonna get dirty water all over my pants and down in my shoes. None of that happens. Try it out at home, practice. You can even practice in the shower if you want to. But in truth, I would just take my pants down, do this. I would get hardly, if any, water, let alone any dirty water, on my pants. And then I'd be done. And I would be so much cleaner than if I used toilet paper, and then I wouldn't be leaving toilet paper behind or have to pack it out with me. And by the way, burying toilet paper does not work really well if you're in dry climates. It takes a long time to deteriorate, and it tends to get dug up and scattered around. And I cannot tell you, I have seen hundreds and hundreds of occasions where I've had to pick up used toilet paper when I've been out hiking on the trail, patrolling a trail, and picking up trash, and it's not fun. So use a bidet instead. Now here's another example. At some point I will do a review of all these, and I'll put the names of them in comments somewhere. But this one gives out 4 squirts. Now you'll notice it's not stuck all the way. I'm having some difficulty threading this onto my Sinoc bag. That's why it's so important to check ahead of time and make sure that what you have as a bidet, squirter fits onto your bag. And likewise, this Culo Clean is very, very popular. It's for hiking. I cannot get this to fit onto my Sinoc bag. I think I can get it to fit onto like onto a regular. Well, I know I can get it to fit onto like a regular Life Water, bottle or something, Smart Water bottle or something like that. But it won't fit on here, so make sure yours works ahead of time. And here's that Cadillac system I was talking about. I'm not going to show the whole shower, but I am going to show how it does the stream. It is a strong stream. I'm basically watering my entire yard with this thing. Now there's a very famous hiker and teacher named Andrew Skirka. He doesn't use any of that stuff. All he uses is a standard Smart Water bottle with one of those flipping drinking caps, and he just uses that and squirts back there. And some people get grossed out and say, "Ooh, you're using your drinking bottle to squirt up there." you're not holding it right up into your butthole. You're holding it a good ways back. So there's the danger of splashback is virtually non-existent. But what I will do is I will use a dedicated bag just to be sure, and I will have two things with me. One is a little bit of this is I've poured some Dr. Bronner's soap into this little thing, just a couple of drops of soap. The other is some Purell. And you do two things with this. First, after you have done your business and after you've squirted yourself clean with a bidet, you're going to clean yourself even more. You're going to take a few drops of soap, you're going to take some water, and you're going to reach back there, and just as you would in the shower or anyplace else, you're going to rub a little back there. And you're not going to be rubbing off chunks or anything like that. You're just going to be rubbing to get yourself nice and clean. Then you will use your bidet to squirt the soapy water off, and your butthole is going to be the cleanest thing you've got out there on the trail. I tell you what, over 21 days of hiking the John Muir Trail, the two cleanest things I had were my hands and my bottom. And it helped prevent butt rash, which is a real problem when you're hiking long distances. The other thing you have is some Purell hand sanitizer, because finally when you're done with everything, you've packed it all back into your kit, take some hand sanitizer and you know, use that on your hands just to be extra safe. Anyway, I hope you incorporate a bidet into your system. I think you will enjoy it. It is so much cleaner feeling than the feeling you have just sort of wiping around stuff back there, especially when you have many more miles to hike. You're sweating, you're gross. You really can get very uncomfortable. But I guarantee you that if you use a bidet, you will be clean and you will be happy. You'll be fulfilling one of the key principles of leave no trace. And the environment will be happy. And so will your fellow hikers, because they won't have to see your paper lying around. So just to recap, using a bidet will help you comply with the leave no trace principle of disposing of your waste properly. Dispose of waste properly. Do these three things. Get a bidet. Learn how to use it ahead of time. And then finally, after you've used it, make sure you wash your hands and sanitize carefully. Thanks again. This is Rolf Denver, and have a fun time out there.